Rey's new lightsaber. There are questions plenty of people have about it, especially since it's one of the last things we're left with before the Rise of Skywalker ends and the credits roll. There are two questions I've had with it myself, the first being when exactly did she build it? Was it before or after the fight of Palpatine? The second question is, where did she get the Kyber Crystal to power it? Because, well, considering Ilum isn't around anymore, Kyber Crystals are now even more rare than ever. Fortunately, we already have an answer to the first question. As according to Matt Martin from the Lucasfilm Story Group, as it turns out, Rey had already begun constructing it at the Resistance base on Agen Kloss before the final battle. As for how she knew to build a lightsaber, it's most likely Rey learned from reading the old Jedi texts that she stole from Ahch-To. Not to mention, I'm sure she was also getting some advice from Leia too, who she herself had built a lightsaber of her own at one time. Of course, with the whole Palpatine returning back from the dead thing and the dark visions Rey started to get, there really wasn't any time at that point to finish building the lightsaber, especially if she already had a fully capable working one. As for the Kyber Crystal she used, well, that question still remains unanswered. Although, if we go by the Rise of Skywalker movie leaks, which a lot of those did turn out to be real, believe it or not, it stated there was going to be a scene where Rey would end up merging Luke and Leia's Kyber Crystals to put into her own custom lightsaber. This would make sense, since in the movie we see a quick flash of green on her lightsaber, which would be from Luke's Kyber Crystal, and then suddenly a flash of blue, which could be either from Anakin's or Leia's Kyber Crystal. And yeah, it's believed the two were combined together to make the yellow-bladed lightsaber the very first seen in a Star Wars movie. Of course, there are a couple of things that need to be pointed out. Number 1, yes, in canon, Luke's green lightsaber was still on Ahch-To, and Rey knew about it, so she could have easily gone back to grab it to help make her own lightsaber. Although what really doesn't make sense to me is the colors blue and green combining to make yellow. Because as we know in real life, those colors combined together make cyan and white. So how exactly do they make yellow? Does this mean that color mixture results are different in Star Wars? Then again, blue and yellow make green, so there's that, I guess. Then there's the question of how Rey managed to combine Kyber Crystals, as that's not something that has ever been stated to be possible before in canon, at least not for a single-bladed lightsaber, which this seems to be. However, that I can simply chalk up to Rise of Skywalker introducing such a process into the canon, as let's be real, this movie introduced a lot of other new things never before seen or thought to be possible into canon, so combining Kyber Crystals together should be now possible, I suppose. Regardless, I'm sure whatever JJ was going for here, and we're without a doubt going to find out the true story about Rey's lightsaber once the Rise of Skywalker novelization comes out in March, then I'm assuming all of this is going to be nicely explained. But for now, her Kyber Crystal origins will just have to remain a mystery that we can all speculate over. And at the very least, we do know for sure that she was already building the lightsaber before the final battle, rather than afterwards as most people had originally believed to be the case. But what do you all think? Did Rey truly use 2 Kyber Crystals to create her Frankenstein lightsaber? Or is the ignition of different flashing colors on her lightsaber just meaningless, and she actually found a yellow Kyber Crystal somewhere out there in the galaxy? Let me know and let's get a conversation going. And as always, be sure to like and share this video, as well to keep it here to Silo for everything on the latest in Star Wars. N7 from Silo, signing out.